Good evening. My name is Thurman Greco, and this program is coming to you from Channel 23, educational television station in scenic downtown Woodstock, New York, and also from YouTube. And we have a guest tonight who has been with us already 2 times.
Yes.
And one time she came because she was recruiting for school buses. And I point that out because I saw a school bus recruiting sign, so it's school bus hiring season already. And then another time she came because of the stones. And I'm going to ask you to tell people your name, but also tell everybody where they can reach you. Because with these goodies, people are going to want to know where do you have your booth?
Well, my name is Suzanne Nelson. I'm co-owner and founder of Tonshi Mountain Studios. We are located in Ashokan, New York. I set up seasonally at the Mowers Saturday-Sunday Market in Woodstock. The season is over for that, but you can find us online at tonshymountain.com and tonshymountaingems.com, and that's TONSHI, mountain spelled out. And or you can reach us, you can call or text us at our business number is area code 845-532-4600.
Now, you said you're in Ashokan. Does that mean that somebody can go to Ashokan and see your things? Maybe.
Yeah.
And you do go to seasonal you do go to holiday markets too.
I did the last craft fair of the year this past weekend.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and I didn't book anything else for the year, so it's going to be either personal meetings or online selling.
Okay, so that's important to get that message
Yes.
across, because last time, I think things had changed after last time. But we have the most beautiful things on this table. And I asked Suzanne to come and do a wand show, because last time you made a wand for me, which was the most incredible experience, because, I'm a healer, and all of my life I was accustomed to reaching out and touching something and finding out about it because I touched it and because I reached out. But when Suzanne made this wand reached out to me. And it's reaching out to me now, and it was just amazing when that happened. I was completely unprepared for that experience. So I'm assuming that maybe you have those experiences occasionally.
I am actually more detached from the stones than people would think.
Really?
I am the vehicle in which they find their home. So the most powerful connection that I have to them is, let's just say I'm in a big stone warehouse. And this is just a big wholesale warehouse full of thousands and thousands of crystals. And I will come across an item. It could be a tower, it could be a sphere, or it could be a raw specimen. And I just know that if I buy it, it's going home immediately.
Really?
And I've even experienced that with, we have a professional buyer over in China who will, FaceTime or send pictures of items to me at the warehouses and the wholesale markets in China. And there was this carved skull, and it wasn't my favorite, but I kept coming back to it. And it was an amethyst cluster that had an agate layer, and in the agate layer they had carved the face of a skull with the points of the amethyst coming out the side. It was an interesting carving, and these are all hand carved. And it was a little bit more money than I had budgeted, but I just felt that if I bought it, the person that it's going to will come immediately. And sure enough, it was on the table for 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
So that is your connection.
Yes.
Now, when you experience that, is it because you touched some? Well, no, because this guy was on the FaceTime.
I don't always have to touch them. Sometimes they just call to me. And it's like, I'm going home, you need to take me home.
You got the bus, girl.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
So-
that to me, that is the most amazing thing, because until I found this wand, I had never had a crystal reach out to me. And that
Yeah.
is something that happens to you.
In that sense, yes. There has been a few special ones. Like there's a few here that are from my personal collection, like this double-pointed clear smoky amethyst, and
Yeah,
it
that's
has
beautiful.
smoky phantoms in it. This, I had to keep it. And there's the on the base, the hematoidal. Yes, that one. It's also known as fire quartz. That one is actually a double point that's being held up in a base. That one's from my personal collection as well. And, but they have to really, really scream out to me to say, hey, I'm going to stay.
Oh, they do tell you that.
Yeah, but it isn't very often. My collection is smaller than people would think, but I do have a decent sized collection.
You know, there is a woman up in Troy. I don't know if she's still there. Years ago, I used to go to her shop, and she described the process of holding something for a period of time until she was told it's time to sell it. She called that hoarding.
Oh, well, I
And
hold
I
them.
felt like that was
but-
that was a negative thing. But she
Yeah.
said, sometimes I will hold things for 2 or 3 years before I know that the customer's coming.
No, well, I don't hoard them. They
That was her
are
word, not
all
mine.
out there waiting to go home. But sometimes it does take a while. And some of them will hide in the storeroom. Like there is this amazing piece of blue apatite that's a naturally faceted crystal. It's about that big, and it's attached to a base that was part of another blue apatite crystal. And I actually thought I had sold it because I hadn't seen it in so long. And I came across it about a month and a half ago. So I'll put it online and we'll see if it calls out to
So
anyone
when
there.
it surfaces, then it knows it's ready to go. It's
Sometimes.
been resting in your warehouse.
And there's been occasions where pieces from my own collection have said I need to move on, and there's a part of me that there's stones that have called to me, and I've kept them because of that. And then there's others that were more of a want. I like you, so I'm going to keep you. And that happened with it was a rutilated, very clear, smoky amethyst sphere.
Wow.
And I just happened to find it in an estate sale. It was in with a bunch of glass, glass marbles. And I bought the marbles for they make great display pieces during the summertime. You fill or the holidays, you just fill vases with these glass little beads, and and there in the middle was this smoky quartz sphere, and it looked like two galaxies colliding
Wow.
on the inside, the way the inclusions were. And it was finely rutilated with silver. And just one day it was like, yeah, you need to take me to the market. And So I took it out to the market. It was out there for a month, and then I put my foot down, and I was like, okay, if this doesn't sell by the end of the day, you are going back in the display case, because I do want to keep you. Last customer of the day bought it.
So that's how those things go.
Yeah, and she was looking specifically for a sphere exactly like that.
Really?
And she had gone by my table earlier in the day, didn't see it, but she was doing a second pass by as we started closing up, and she just spotted it.
Well,
And it
that
was
can
over.
happen because you have so much.
Yeah, I do have a lot out there.
Yeah. And you're adding to your things.
We're always adding things, leave things need to replace. So, and in regards to the wands, they're usually items that I do as custom orders only, such as I did with yours. You had the original selenite piece, and I basically adorned it with other crystals to make it more powerful. And what was interesting, the top of it, the tip, which is an amethyst cluster, I found immediately. And your selenite stick wasn't like this where it was straight on the top. It was slightly curved. There was an angle on it. And that amethyst crystal had a perfectly matching angle.
Wow.
And the rest of it took a little longer because I can only say that this stick was so bonded to you that it took a little while for it to open up to me to tell me what it needed to become greater than it was.
What is it that bonds these crystals? What is when you are seeing something on a FaceTime call, or you are seeing something somewhere and it's millions of years old and it is talking to you, what makes it focus in like that?
I don't know.
Because
It's-
these things are not young, and humans,
No.
you're only looking at 100 years out of
Oh,
thousands.
yeah. I mean, like this smoky quartz crystal is a black smoky. And the way it gets its color, all, rose quartz, citrine, smoky quartz, all started its life out as clear quartz. But there was chemical reactions, something that made it change color. In the case of smoky quartz, it naturally had aluminum traces within the quartz, which when exposed to the Earth's natural gamma radiation, it turns that brown, gray, or black. The longer the exposure, the darker the crystal. So the fact that this is a black smoky, you can't shine a light through it, it's a very solid black color, means that this was radiated by the Earth for millions of years. So this is a very old crystal. And yes, it does take a lot of time for them to grow. Some are newer than others, and of course this doesn't want to go back the way. How did I put this? We're just going to put it down here for now.
It was in there
Yeah,
perfect too.
yeah.
So this crystal is older than the pink one?
Don't know. It's hard to say. It isn't like you can carbon date them. Rose quartz. Now this gets its color in a very, very different way. This was exposed to iron, and microscopic fractures within the quartz is where the iron seeped in and turned it pink. So this happened on a microscopic level where the iron seeped in, as opposed to radiation. Amethyst is also another one that gets its color through radiation. And sometimes it's a combination of different things that causes the color, such as this one, where It's hard to see, but
Now, that's your personal collection?
This is from my personal collection.
Because that's beautiful.
There is a smoky quartz phantom in it, where you can see this is a phantom, and you see how the lines run through it?
Yes.
Now, these are both phantoms, but they got their phantoming in very different ways. Like this one, you have to turn it, and then the phantoming appears. So as this crystal was growing, first it was amethyst, and the irradiation occurred to cause the purple. But then there was a layer of clear that happened. And then this layer, which had the aluminum snuck in and was briefly irradiated. And then the clear started again without the aluminum. So this was kind of a layering of different things to cause one crystal, which is why you'll see ametrine, which is amethyst with citrine combined, or amethyst with smoky quartz combined, or citrine with smoky. It's because there's different reactions happening. Now this one is phantomed because it represents flooding within the cavity that the crystal was growing. So every line you see here, and it could have been a space of thousands of years between the floods. So in a way, that's a timekeeper. It tells a story of what happened in that cavity as that crystal was growing.
Wow. Now tell me about the green one.
The green one over here.
No, I'm still
this-
captivated with that one.
This one?
Yes.
This is actually citrine.
Okay.
And I did not do enough homework on citrine.
Is that yours or is that for sale?
This one is for sale. This one involves iron as well.
And
but
how long have you had this one?
Well, I will have to confess that one came in a bulk buyout from a Chinese factory. We bought probably about 500 pounds of towers that were on closeout, so we got a very good deal on them. This rose quartz came from that same lot, so did this tourmalated. This is very heavily tourmalated. It's almost so heavily that you almost can't see the lines of tourmaline running through it.
That's such an interesting one.
Yes. And actually have my notes here on the
Now-
tourmalated quartz. Yeah, now that one is very good for opening up blocked or closed emotions.
This one.
This one.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if this is one, of course, this is just fascinating, just looking at the details on this one.
Yeah.
This one, I'm willing to bet that the person that buys this is going to be a healer, unless they're just interested in the art. And they're going to be someone that's been hanging around with Machu Picchu and around in there. Not that this is from there, but that's the kind of thing that they would use.
And this is an example of...
So that's that's for working.
It could be. It will tell its story someday. And this being a tower, as opposed to the double points, towers are very focused.
Yeah.
So if someone uses this as a wand, it would be focusing the healing properties of the quartz and the tourmaline. And whereas, like, for example, this one...
Oh, that is adorable. That's totally precious.
This one is a fortune wand. So the purpose of this is for good fortune and financial good fortune. So it incorporates the citrine, which is a fortune stone, with other fortune stones such as pyrite, peridot, green aventurine, and of course Herkimer diamonds to basically enhance and keep focused that energy. And
So if a person is going to buy that, what are they going to do with it?
well, you know, when it comes to programming or bonding with wands, there's all kinds of instructions. Meditating with them, chanting, closing your eyes and imagining the energy around it. But I say whatever works for you, whatever connects you to it. And some people don't need that, just as you were so connected to that selenite stick when you first touched it,
Oh, yeah.
that you didn't need to meditate or bond with it. It automatically happened.
You're right.
Yes,
It
and-
just did.
And I do have that video on YouTube.
You know, so you put this one together.
Yes. So I had a few that were, that I just kind of whipped out to give as examples, and of course these are for sale. This is the mini-me of yours, which has Herkimer diamonds, which are very powerful. They enhance and empower everything. They're definitely a good conductor of energy. And the amethyst, which is a very
that's precious.
powerful healer,
And look at that.
with the blue celestite, which has a very calming, energy. The Herkimers and the amethyst have a high vibration, and it's balanced by the celestite that has a lower vibration, kind of giving everything that balance in the healing. And of course, the selenite is a perfect conductor for the crystals to mingle together. And then there's a little piece of citrine in it just for the good fortune of the healing working.
And what about this one?
This one,
That's got a lot of wrapped wire.
This is I would say a general healer. It's got hematite, tourmaline, some local quartz, a clear quartz tip. There's some celestite around the bottom with rose quartz. So this is just for someone who's just looking for a generic healer that's not focused on any particular illness or ailment. So this is a good starter one for someone who wants to start healing or wants to heal themselves. And then I have beaded ones. This is amethyst and agate. This would be more of a good for someone with anxiety. Very
Let me
calming.
see that. And so many people are dealing with anxiety at this point.
Well, the world is everything
Yeah.
anxiety these days.
And you sell these little beads?
No. Actually, you've had Carol. Was it Carol or Mary, or both that you had on your show from Voices of the Stone?
Yeah.
I bought the beads from them.
This is adorable.
Yeah, I highly recommend them if you're looking for beads. This is a chakra wand, so you have the colors of the chakra in there. And then this one was, this is a good fortune stone. Not necessarily money, just good fortune. You need to change
Positive vibes.
Yes, you need to change your luck. You need to think positive. This is a very good one for that. And then we have the double point ones, which these are obviously cut, but the Herkimers, this is actually a cluster, but Herkimers are naturally double tourmalated or double pointed. They connect the earthly plane to the spiritual plane, to the heavenly plane. So they're very good to use in spirit work or spiritual enlightenment. And the focus of the energy regarding that changes according to which stone you choose, according to what kind of journey you want to take. And then some people choose to use just either wands that have been made which combines the energies of different stones, where others decide to just use
The natural
the
wands.
natural wands. So
This one is incredible.
this one is a Lemurian. So what makes it a Lemurian is that it was found at, the cavity was found at a base of a mountain in Brazil. And there were no crystals attached to the cavity. They were just laying on the floor. They weren't attached to anything else, and there was no reason for them to be there. So the legend of the Lemurian is that they were left there by the Lemurians, and their story is very similar to that of Atlantis. But instead of being the Atlantic Ocean, it was the Pacific Ocean. How these crystals were connected to them, I'm not sure. But the basic story was that they etched, and there's etchings on all sides.
Absolutely.
And it is believed that their knowledge and wisdom was
It's
etched into
it's
this
been
crystal.
implanted into this.
That
Yeah.
they had predicted the destruction of their civilization. And they left this protective grid of crystals all over the world. And eventually their island sunk into the sea, exactly like Atlantis. So Atlantis was the Atlantic Ocean, Lemuria was the Pacific Ocean. So when people use etch stones, again, I had to make notes on this.
Can I touch this
Oh
again?
yeah, absolutely. So etch stones, such as Lemurians, are good for meditation. They tap into the knowledge of the past and are useful to tuning to spiritual training. Now this one also has etching, but this is what we call a self-healer. Now if you look at it very closely, the top of it looks as if it is broken, but there's actually
Right.
points
Right.
that grew out of that broken.
So
So
yes.
instead of growing into one single point, many little points grew over that fractured crystal. And they are good for healing work in regards to self-healing and becoming whole with yourself again. So someone that is instead of going to someone like yourself, they want to do it themselves, this would be an excellent one for them. And then we have one like this, which is, it's reddish, which means it has a coating of hematite on it. And hematite is a very healing mineral, which is normally a metallic gray, but when it comes in contact with quartz, it turns red, such as the double-pointed one there, which has hematite throughout it. That's also called fire quartz. So the different elements that are used in the wands help determine where its focus is.
So, in my case, I had the wand, and I brought it to you, and I left it.
Yes.
And then several weeks later, you
I
returned
think it was
to
a month
me.
and a half.
Yeah, you returned
a
it to
while.
me. And so that's how it works. They either select a wand or they bring a wand to you.
No,
No,
not
that's
always.
not how it works.
You are actually the only person who has ever bought me the base of the selenite. Everyone else has requested a wand for certain purposes. And
Ah.
I've made them for that particular purpose. And I select the material, or should I say the material calls out to be selected.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
just like with your wand, I really did not have a plan. It was just, it decided to call primarily celestite, Herkimer diamonds, and amethyst.
And so that's what happened.
Yeah,
That was fascinating. Yes. Well, this is adorable. How delicate is this? How breakable is it? I guess that's the
Well,
question.
everything's breakable. I wouldn't drop it on the floor.
Okay.
And this is like a puzzle I have to figure out now. But, yeah, and that's how I make the wands. They're like puzzles that have to be, oh, here we go. They're like puzzles that have to be figured out. And they decide how they want to be constructed for that person.
And then you just follow the instructions.
Yeah, they just come together very organically.
Now, you said this is the chakra one,
Yes.
and this one is,
That is the grounding one.
The grounding one.
Very good to bring just emotional
Focus.
stability because it has a lot of
Focus.
agate.
now what about this golden one?
Oh, this one is for good fortune. It combines amethyst with citrine, which gives you good fortune, but the amethyst gives you wisdom. So, because like, it's kind of like, let's just say you won the lottery. You could be broke in a week.
Yes.
So this gives you the good fortune, but the wisdom to know what to do with that good fortune.
That's very true. Now, what do we have over here? Tell me about this. I'm sort of intrigued by this color.
Oh, well now this is raw aventurine, which is green quartz. I did oil it with mineral oil to bring out the color. That is a little cheat for people who have raw unpolished stone who want to bring out the color of a polished stone. Because typically when they're just raw hunks, they don't look as pretty. They're full of inclusions. This one wasn't as pretty before the oiling. It helps fill in the cracks and the little surface fractures, and the mineral oil is very good for it. When oiling your stones, do not use vegetable oil or olive oil. You only want to use mineral oil, which is very inexpensive at the drugstore. And this is a fortune stone, but a money fortune stone. So that's why, in fact, in this wand, you can see here the pieces of green aventurine, the raw aventurine. So this is what it looks like, not oiled. This is a bigger piece right here. So if it were to be oiled up, it would be more the tone of that one.
And where did this one come from, this little guy?
A 50-pound box of green aventurine.
Wow. So, and you got the 50-pound box?
Well, what's left of it, there might be about 25 pounds of it left.
So,
and they're just big hunks like that.
And people just come in and buy a hunk of aventurine?
Yes.
And have you oiled all of it?
No. I give people the option of oiled or unoiled so they can see what they both look like.
Now, when you oil it, does it take a lot of oil or does it take like a half a teaspoonful? What is?
I'd say that one probably, I mean, you know, you rub it on, you let it absorb in, and then you wipe off the excess.
So it's going to absorb.
So that was a good tablespoonful for that one.
A good tablespoonful of aventurine.
Yeah, because the aventurine, it had a lot of surface fractures and microfractures.
How do you know when a person comes up to your table, well, this guy, what makes you say, okay, let me show you this aventurine?
I
Or
don't.
you
I
don't?
don't. If someone is looking for a specific stone for anxiety or good fortune or healing, I tell them, don't ask me. Walk around, feel the table out, because what you need may not be on this table. Or what you think you need is different than what you actually do. So just go around,
So you encourage.
let it fall to you.
Okay, that's what you encourage is the
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter, whatever they say and what they
Yeah.
do are two different things.
I tell them to just look around the table and just forget about what you've been told that you need this or you need that. Feel it out, see who's calling you, and then come to me. We'll look at the book, we'll look it up, and every single time it's exactly what they need. And a lot of times it's not what they thought. They'll come and they'll say, oh, I need amethyst or I need tourmaline. And sometimes that's not what they actually need. It's something else that calls to them, that actually gives them more.
Wow. So it doesn't matter. So they don't have to know about anything. All they do is
No.
just find what.
Just like you knew
find what
nothing
works.
about selenite when you touched that stick.
No, I knew
there was-
nothing.
it was just
I just knew, and it wasn't this one because I bought several, and I just knew that, okay, you can feel this. And so I went for that. And then, of course, then I had my education. I figured out some other things too. So,
but you knew it was, to you, it was alive.
yeah, oh,
Where
absolutely.
someone else
Oh,
touching
listen,
it, it's like, okay,
it's alive.
It's-
She's got a name. The cat interacts with her. It's it's a whole other world.
yeah.
Now, what is this little thing?
That is also quartz with tourmaline in it, but that's a clearer one, and you can see the tourmaline running through that one.
This is beautiful. This is adorable. Look at that.
Yeah, so this one and that one are the same.
Yes. Look
This
at that.
one
Yes.
just has a lot more tourmaline running through it.
Yes, look at
And
it.
you can see the lines, yeah.
But you don't, if this is not for you, it doesn't make any difference whether it's got rutilation or not. If it's not for you, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. If there's basically three types of buyers who come to us for crystals. There's the collectors who are more into the geological aspect of it, who are fascinated with how they formed and where they were sourced, and almost need to have one of everyone in their collection. And then there's the people who they like crystals because they're pretty, and they just like to surround themselves with beautiful things. And then there's the people who connect with them. And that seems to be probably more than half my audience, is the people who connect to them. And they will go around the table and, and I can see it happen. They'll start to hold it in a certain way. And you can see it's like they're bonding with it. And I probably at that point can ask any price I wanted, but I wouldn't do that. But you can see when it happens that it's like that crystal is telling them, take me home with you.
Okay, so that's half of the people that come to your table.
Probably half of the people.
And they're not necessarily, they're not asking the same kind of questions at all that the other people are asking.
The interests do overlap. Some people who are into the metaphysical are also interested in the geological aspect of it.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, where did it come from? It's, Herkimer diamonds. People who aren't familiar with it can be fascinated by where this crystal came from, and that upstate New York is the only place on the planet you can get this particular form of quartz.
When you take that into consideration, those things are very reasonably priced.
Well,
Those Herkimers really are.
we are close to the source. We are in New York. If we were overseas, they would be very hard to get hold of. They would have to be mailed to you. if you, I've never seen any Chinese wholesalers selling Herkimers, because they would have to bring it from here to there and then resell it. It's too far away from the source for them for such a small.
So what
local
you're
type
telling
of
me is
quantity.
the need or the market for Herkimers is a New England need. In other words, this is a very intimate group.
Well, people who collect crystals, especially the metaphysical, because these are amplifiers. They connect the earthly plane to the spiritual plane. They're good in spirit work, out of body, training. They're not good to have near you if you're prone to nightmares, because they amplify your dreams. They're overall a very powerful amplifier. And scientifically, if you look at quartz, there's a reason quartz is used in heaters and electrical, even computers. And if you touch it or hold it, you might even feel a tingle from them.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, so have you
they're
ever
very
had somebody
desirable.
from, say, Oklahoma ask for a Herkimer?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they do.
They
It
are
is
famous,
gone.
but it's because we are so close to the source.
Mm-hmm.
We can obtain them cheaply, because we could any of us could go up there and spend a few days digging and maybe,
Do you ever do that?
Absolutely not.
Really?
I have a friend, in fact, this crystal came from my friend Dave. He usually goes to the Woodstock market on Sundays, and he has a claim at the Diamond Acre Mine in Herkimer, Fonda, New York. And he is, I think, 13, 14 feet down through solid rock to get to those
And
pockets.
he's chipping
Yes.
away.
And you have to chip away delicately, because if you're hammering and
You
you're
could ruin
bashing,
it.
you're going to bash crystal when you break into those pockets.
Wow.
And typically, you're probably going to bash crystal when you break into the pockets, but it's a matter of how much crystal are you going to bash when you get into those pockets. If you're
Wow.
lucky, the pocket just opens up. But
Wow.
it's hard work. I did.
So does he come to sell on Sundays?
Yes, he sells them the crystals. that
Oh
he
my
is-
word! Does he
and
come
he's-
often?
A couple of times a month at least. It's hard to, you just have to time it right.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
This guy's been coming in with his pockets full of Herkimers and nobody
Yes.
knew it?
Oh, a lot of people know it.
I just didn't
Yeah,
know it.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Everybody else knew, but I didn't know.
But as far as the pricing of them goes, the further away from the source you are,
The
more
more
expensive it
expensive it
becomes. Yes.
That's very interesting. Oh, of
Yeah.
course, that makes a lot of sense.
And it's a matter of how, Herkimers are more rare than actual diamonds. So they would be typically more expensive, per pound or per kilo if you were buying in bulk. Whereas selenite, rose quartz, very, very common all over the world. So there are plenty of sources everywhere, and they're not going to be as expensive per weight.
Wow. Well, now tell me about these.
This is Brazilian tourmaline. Now, tourmaline, high quality tourmaline tends to be very brittle, whereas this, very solid. This isn't going to break apart. You could drop this on your foot and probably hurt yourself quite.
And
if
it
you
would
hold
still
it's
be-
very, very heavy.
Yes. Now, this is the same
And
thing?
this is the same. This has a slight layer of mica on it. So you see the sheen on that side?
Mm-hmm.
Mica and tourmaline very often form in together. And you can see like the little traces of the mica. Ooh, that one did. Good luck, piece of the tourmaline left behind. but you can see the traces of the mica with the on the surface of the tourmaline.
Now, what is the attraction of this? Why would a person walk into the Mowers Flea Market and ask for that product?
Oh, well, either they're a collector and they want to add a big piece like this to their collection, or they're specifically looking for the healing properties of the tourmaline. And some people might be looking for little pieces, some people might be looking for a larger piece such as this. It depends on either what appeals to them or what calls to them.
Well, now, this comes from China?
No, that's Brazilian.
Okay, this
yeah,
comes
that was
from Brazil.
sourced in Brazil.
So, is that the only color that comes from Brazil?
I don't think so. Tourmaline comes in every color of the rainbow.
Right, right.
And I do hate myself because it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while a stone will ask me to bash it in half. And I bought this crystal, or it was a rock, that it was quartz with tourmaline in it. And it had multicolored tourmaline in it.
Oh, wow.
And I just got this overwhelming urge to just break it.
Oh my gosh.
So I broke it, and every color of tourmaline exposed itself.
Oh my gosh.
I had no idea what I had back then.
Oh my gosh.
I wire wrapped it and I sold it to one of my regular customers, so I know I got a good home and that it's appreciated. But the blues, the aquas, the amber, the peach, the red, every single color, the green, the black, it was all in there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's a very special rock, and it was far more expensive than I realized it was.
Well, now, what?
And I never would have known if I hadn't broken it.
Wow. Well, now, we have tourmaline in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is that to source?
I'm not as familiar with the tourmaline in Maine. It depends on, are there public mines that you could go to and dig it yourself?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I know we have tourmaline here in New York. Nothing like that quality, though. Nothing like that quality.
Really? So
Yeah.
you can get it. That would be up along, where is it in New York?
Oh, I think it's somewhere downstate. I don't remember where. Dave also went there to mine some, and it was mixed with quartz, but it wasn't like a very, very high end quality of tourmaline, but it was still tourmaline.
Wow. So it is available, and so if people want tourmaline, they can come to your table and get it.
Yes.
Because I know that at one point in my career I was looking for tourmaline and I didn't find anything at all. And I was really looking all over the place. But I didn't know where to look. That's the thing. You have to know where to look. That's why I was telling. This is luscious. What can you tell us about this?
This is also from Brazil. This is a amethyst crystal with traces of smoky quartz in it. So this is an example of how two forms of quartz can form together. So you had the iron with the irradiation, which helped form the amethyst, but then you had little traces of aluminum in there, which helped the smoky quartz form along with it. So that one definitely came from Brazil. I have a wholesaler that buys directly from miners. It's a more ethical type of sourcing because some material you may not know where it came from or how it was sourced. A lot that comes from Madagascar is not sourced very ethically. There's dangerous mining situations, there's warlords involved that basically, oh, if you want to live